Vegas was a winter wonderland earlier this week. The desert city transformed by the biggest December snowfall on record. But the weather has improved just in time for the 17th annual Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl, featuring BYU and Arizona. Welcome to the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl, a part of Capital One Bowl Week, and it's the 10-2 Cougars of Brigham Young against the Arizona Wildcats at 7-5. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick along with Todd Blackledge. It's great to have you with us. One of the things that separates bowl games from the regular season is motivation. Who wants to be here? Well, Brigham Young is in Las Vegas for this bowl game for the 4th straight year. Arizona's going bowling for the first time in a decade anywhere.
Well, and based on that, you'd say Arizona has the advantage from a motivational standpoint. This is really huge for them to be here. But I think Mike Stoops was very clear with us, in order for his program to take that next step, really turn the corner, not only being here is important, they need to win. But I think Brigham Young has motivation too, because certainly they expected bigger things with this season. They didn't get that, and they did not play well in their last game of the year against their arch rival Utah. A chance to end this season on a positive note is big.
All right, for more, let's go to the sideline, check in with Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, guys, one exciting thing to watch tonight is Arizona receiver Mike Thomas has a chance to break the all-time record for career receptions for the Pac-10. He just needs 4 to break Derek Hagan's from Arizona State's record. Now, I talked to his quarterback, Willie Tuitama, and said, hey, Willie, has he let you know that he's got this record on the horizon? He said, it has been mentioned. He said, Mike wants me to definitely get him the ball. He does want that record. But their offensive coordinator, Sonny Dykes, said, you know what? It's all good. It's in the game plan. We think we have an advantage on the perimeter with our speed. Look for us to get it to Mike Thomas early and often. That record should go down tonight.
All right, Holly, we are set to go from Las Vegas. Mike Stoops with his first winning record at 7-5. They have been very patient as he has rebuilt this program. And Bronco Mendenhall, who has done nothing but win 10 games this year, going for his 3rd straight 11-win season. Arizona won the toss. They have deferred. BYU will receive.
Both of these teams very explosive offensively. We'll get a chance to see BYU first and their junior quarterback, Max Hall. Both teams capable of moving the football and scoring lots of points. It should be a fun bowl game tonight.
Jason Bonzio to kick to Austin College. Collie and O'Neal Chambers. Collie is a great return man, as well as a great receiver. Stacked up this time, however, dives forward to the 22-yard line. Todd, who are the impact players to keep an eye on?
Well, with Brigham Young, you start with Harvey Una, their big tailback, 240 pounds. The layoff after their last game should help him. Dennis Pitta also banged up in the Air Force game, a knee injury from his tight end position, an excellent receiver. And on the defensive side, Jan Jorgensen, the career sack leader in the Mountain West Conference, really sets the table for their defense.
That's Max Hall, the quarterback. 34 touchdown throws this year in a terrific passing attack. Una, the tailback, and Hall goes past him and throws on first down. Collie will make the catch out to the 16-yard line. And as Holly said, that's Michael Reed, as we're going to keep an eye on Collie for you, because he only needs those 4 catches to set an all-time Pac-10 record. Reed himself has made 41 grabs this year.
I would expect Reed will get some opportunities because of Collie's season and the fact that he's coming into this ball game 10 straight 100-yard reception games. Arizona's going to pay a lot of attention to him, so Michael Reed should have some shots on the other side.
Una, about a yard shy of a first down. Vakapuna, the fullback, got him a good block as well. And you can check out the lineups at the top of your screen above the scoreboard.
It's interesting talking to Mike Stoops. We asked him, what's the biggest thing you're concerned about in this game? He said, how physical they are. They're a big offensive line, Brigham Young. They've got big physical backs, and we're a defense that's built for speed. We're not very big. How will we hold up against this physical BYU offense?
Una at 239, Vakapuna at 255. Instead, they'll throw to Collie for the first down. And Collie is dragged down toward the sideline by Marquise Hundley. You can see the defense for Arizona at the top of your screen. This is the number 20 rated defense in the country, in spite of the fact that they had to replace so many starters, Todd.
Yeah, 8 new starters coming in to start the 2008 season. They've meshed pretty well down the stretch here.
It is a speed defense as they tried to get Collie out on a flanker screen. And this is really part of their ground game, is these quick flanker screens, bubble screens.
You'll see that with both of these teams. It's interesting because Sonny Dykes is the offensive coordinator for Arizona. Robert Anae is the coordinator for BYU. They were both assistants together at Texas Tech under Mike Leach. So a lot of similar concepts and things that you'll see in the passing games from both of these teams.
Ball out of the shotgun. 4-man rush, has time, throws underneath, and the fullback has it. Picks up about 5 yards, and they throw a lot to their wide receivers. Very little to Vakapuna. That's only his 10th catch this year. He has carried it 53 times, but mainly a blocking back. He had hoped for more carries this year, wanted to split time with Una, but they had some injuries at fullback, and he was called on to play that position.
Right now, if you're Bronco Mendenhall, you're happy with the start of your quarterback, Max Hall. He's coming off a disastrous game in the last outing against Utah.
Una has the corner. First down and more into Arizona territory at the 46-yard line. This is a speed defense, and there's nothing Brigham Young would like better than to start pounding on these guys.
Well, the one thing you'll see when you watch Brigham Young is their splits. They get really wide with their offensive linemen. Now, they're a little tighter on this one than you'll see them a lot of the times, but the distance between their linemen, particularly in the passing game, very stark contrast with Arizona.
Incomplete, as there was some miscommunication on the route, and Ashworth cut it off, and Hall threw deep anyway. Ashworth, a 6'2 sophomore from Provo. A lot of homegrown talent on this club.
We mentioned Max Hall in the game against Utah. He threw 5 interceptions and had a fumble, and really a devastating loss to their arch rival, and a game after he'd had pretty much an outstanding season to finish that way. Very motivated coming into this game tonight.
Vakapuna, the fullback, on the delay. He's going absolutely nowhere. Outstanding defense by Arizona, as Brooks Reed, the defensive end, who is their sack leader, jammed it up on the perimeter and wouldn't let the big fullback go anywhere. Max Hall, the numbers he put up against Utah, completed 21 passes but threw 5 picks. Yeah. And 5 picks is just death for an offense.
And most of the interceptions were the result of him being uncomfortable in the pocket. He is a rhythm passer in this offense, and if you get him out of rhythm and he has to throw late, that's where he made mistakes in that ballgame.
Brian Correa, number 28, is in as a 3rd down back. Stays in trying to throw a block. Here's Hall on the scramble. Max Hall dives to the 40-yard line. A couple of yards shy. Corey Hall did not allow the first down yardage.
But in 2 cases now, we've seen Max Hall do a nice job of scrambling out of trouble and not forcing a throw into coverage. One time he was still able to make the throw. This time he runs all the way, doesn't get the first down, but it's a positive gain, and at least puts him in a position to make a decision, but they're going to punt anyway. C.J.
Santiago will punt. And Mike Thomas, first-team All-Pac-10 as a kick returner, at least in the punting game, is back there. He is also a first-team wide receiver. Nice high kick, trying to kill it inside the 10, and they will. Outstanding kick by Santiago, 36 yards and out of bounds. Back after this. Well, Arizona, like BYU, will have to start deep in its own territory after that outstanding punt. They marked the ball at the 4. And the Wildcats will be on offense for the first time with Willie Tuitama at quarterback. Grigsby, number 5, is the tailback. Grigsby gives him a little breathing room, picks up about 5. How about about the impact players here?
Well, the first guy for Arizona, the guy who just touched the football first, Nick Grigsby, their sophomore tailback, 1,000-yard rusher this year for the Wildcats. Next is a tight end who is an outstanding player. Rob Gronkowski, number 48, is a sophomore. 43 catches coming to the ballgame tonight. And on defense, Brooks Reed leading the team with 7 sacks on the season.
Thomas, number 10, is flanked out to the right. He is a special player. They throw to him over the middle, and of course on cue, he drops the football and banged into by one of the inside linebackers, Matt Bauman, who is the number 1 tackler on this team. First team ESPN, the magazine, academic All-American. You never want to drop that first.
No, you want to get off to a good start. Willie Tuitama really played well in his last game against Arizona State. 284 yards, a couple touchdowns, was outstanding in the second half of that ball game.
BYU with a 4-man front. They come with 4. And the pass completed to Thomas. He's up to the 19-yard line. That'll be enough for the first down of the ball game for Arizona. Excuse me, that was Dean, not Thomas.
Dean's a tall target, 6'4", 205 pounds, sophomore out of Fairfield, California.
Tuitama, flanker screen. Ouch. Terrell Turner drilled by Doman. Let's go back and we'll let you listen to the whole play, see if you can hear the whistle. Boy, that's after the ball hits the ground. Right. I mean, clearly.
I didn't hear a whistle till the ball was bouncing.
No. That's Thomas at DeSoto, Texas. Tuitama, that throw takes a big arm. Incomplete, intended for Dean, just got a fingertip on it. And he does have an arm.
He does. He's got an NFL-type arm. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, and he can make all the throws you want a quarterback to make. That one just a little too tall for Dean, but as you mentioned, throwing from the left hash to the right sideline takes a big-time arm, and he's got that.
3rd down and 10 for the Wildcats. Not a lot of pressure yet from the BYU front 4. Tuitama stands in the pocket and throws it straight to Turner. Terrell Turner in a foot race to the 1. Caught from behind by Brandon Bradley, but it's a gain of 71 yards. The pocket was perfect, the throw was perfect, the route was perfect.
Well, there were 2 receivers to the side over here. Now Turner's the outside guy, and he's going to slip through here and get into the seam uncontested. There's a little hesitation, and then that hesitation move froze the BYU defense, and he slipped right in there, and Tuitama hit him right on stride for a big-time play.
Grigsby, the deep man, with Gronkowski in front of him. Grigsby, touchdown. A 71-yard pass and run play sets up a 1-yard scoring drive by Nick Grigsby, his 13th touchdown carry of the season. '96-yard drive. Very impressive for the Wildcats. 3 minutes and 21 seconds. How big will the no fumble call be in the course of this game?
Now, this one was ruled in favor of Arizona. No fumble. A couple plays later, Tuitama perfectly in stride to Terrell Turner. And he's dragged down inside the 5. And Arizona cashes in with the break, the big play, and a lead in the first quarter.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, everybody. First quarter, Arizona on the board first. The big play, a 71-yard pass. that set up the first touchdown of the ballgame.
Coming into this game, Arizona averaging 37 points a game, the second highest scoring team in school history. So off to a good start tonight.
Collie and Chambers are deep. Chambers across to 20, 30, fumble, and Arizona couldn't recover.
How's the kicker? Kicker's not used to recovering fumbles.
Tuitama knocked it loose, and the kicker Bonzio had the shot at it.
Bonzio is just kind of a safety. I mean, he's the last line of defense, and he's going to see a ball pop right in front of him, and he just is not able to recover.
Come on, don't make fun of the kicker.
Yeah, he kicked it out of bounds. He does what he and he's got blue shoes. He's got blue shoes.
Could have been a huge break for Arizona inside the Brigham Young 30-yard line. Hall will go to work. Una, nothing. Arizona with that speed. McCoy, the outside linebacker, comes up.
Yeah. If you're an undersized defense, as this team is, and you've got speed, you've got to do a couple things. You've got to use leverage. Your defensive linemen can still make plays against bigger guys if they play with leverage, and you've got to close holes quickly and use your speed to do that, and that's exactly what they did on that particular running play.
End of the quarter, 7-0 Wildcats.
Ready for the fight.
Beautiful Las Vegas for the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl. We're about 30 minutes from the Strip downtown. Mountain West teams have defeated Pac teams 4 of the 7 matchups. It's been a great year for the Mountain West this year as well. Ball in trouble. Ball's loose. Nobody can get it, and finally, well, it's still loose. And now they're saying Arizona ball. Travis Bright, number 74, appeared to be the last guy that had it, but he was sort of squatting on it, and the ball just came loose. Devin Ross of Arizona came up with it. At least 5 guys had a shot at this.
Well, this started by great pressure from the Arizona front. Brooks Reed, number 42, forced Max Hall to leave the pocket, and then he didn't take care of the football when he left. And there the ball is still loose, and you see Travis Bright thinks he has it, but it's just laying there between his legs, and he's not able to cover it.
I mean, these guys aren't even making silly plays and trying to pick the ball up and run with it. Tuitama right back to work to Thomas. Boy, that is terrific coverage by Bauman. He was right there.
Perfect timing, because it looked for a moment like it might be interference because he did not go for the ball. He was going for the tackle on Mike Thomas, but just so happened that he timed it out perfectly and got there right as the ball got there. Watch Bauman. He's going right for the player, not for the football, and timed it up perfectly.
Boy, that's just smart, well-studied football. Tuitama with a pump fake right down the middle, and that was too high for his tight end, Gronkowski. That's the first time they've tried to get the ball to the All-American. 3rd and 10, Arizona, after breaking its own 10-year drought of not going bowling, has the lead here and in good position to add on to it. Tuitama throws to the sideline. Dean again made the catch at the 14. It's enough for a first down.
Well, the guy playing on the outside over there is Scott Johnson, who was a starting cornerback, and he had a serious double groin injury during the course of the season, and he's just back now for the first time tonight. They thought they might get him in for about 20 plays. He looks okay. He looked okay in warm-ups, but certainly has not played very much football here in the latter part of the season. He was in coverage over there on that particular play.
So Bonzio's had a good year, 10 out of 13. His only misses have come from 45 and 48 yards. be from 31. And the senior hooks it right down the middle.
Boy, that was a nice job by the holder, Cryer, because that was a high snap. He had to leave his stance and then get right back down to the ground to get the ball in the placement.
He's the punter, and they practice these things constantly. Boy, he did have to go up for that one. Got it down, and Bonzio put it through. Back at the Las Vegas Bowl, that's Keenan Cryer, who made that outstanding hold on the field goal.
Keeping those hands warm now. Watch, not only does he go up and catch the snap, but then he puts it down with his left hand. Just the quickest way to get it down. Typically, you would use your right hand for the placement. He's doing the quickest thing he can, gets that ball right back down with his left hand, gets the laces away, and the kick is good for a 10-0 lead.
Collie from the 1-yard line. Trying to cut it back and crosses the 20. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, I just talked to Keenan Cryer, and he definitely is right-handed. He said, wow, that was a high snap. But, guys, keep in mind, he's also the punter, so he's used to having to get all kinds of stuff when it's snapped back there to him.
I tell you what, I can't remember seeing somebody hold a placement with their left hand.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing of beauty, but I'll tell you what, it was an athletic play by Keenan Cryer.
And you've got to give the kicker credit too, because he can see that movement, and to just maintain your rhythm is very difficult. So BYU trying to make something happen on offense. Max Hall set and throws toward the sideline. Did Collie make the catch? They're indicating he did. Near the 30. Does it look to you right now like Max Hall is really wired in on his first receiver, staring that guy down?
No, I think he's trying to get off. I just think Arizona's speed is showing up. I think that they're getting some pressure on him. I think he is really intent on not forcing a throw late, because that's what got him in trouble against Utah.
Apparently they have overruled the call on the field that it was a catch, but wait till we show you a blown-up replay we have of what looks like a catch, because it sure does, and it looks like one of the great catches you're ever going to see by Austin Collie. I don't know how they could overturn it with the one replay that we saw. Hall under pressure. Another strike to Reed. Reed down to 43, a gain of 36.
Well, that's a nice way for Max Hall to overcome the play before. A perfect throw on time, but watch the Collie effort. Now, this was ruled a catch. And when we look at it like this, it looked like his right hand was under the ball, and the ball didn't hit the ground.
Cuffed it like a baseball.
Yeah, I thought it was a phenomenal catch by Collie, especially when we slowed it down and looked at it that way. But BYU still in their best position of the night.
Great job by our crew, too. They were all over Una. No place to go outside, cuts back. And sometimes you wonder, when you've got a 239-pound tailback, why they run all the wide plays with him when he is so effective inside behind that huge offensive line.
Well, some of it is just a stretch-type play where you just kind of stretch the defense and give him a gap to run in. Sometimes it happens inside, sometimes it happens outside. It's a guy who back-to-back years over 1,000 yards.
Yes, sir.
Played at Timpview High School in Provo. A lot of players on this BYU team from that high school.
Pretty throw by Max Hall, 36 yards. Devin Ross, second team all Pac-10, beaten to the inside. Pretty play.
Yeah, and Max Hall did a nice job of holding the safety, Nate Hess. Watch Hall just kind of look down the middle of the field, and that holds the safety and doesn't allow him to get over to help out on the post route. A perfect throw to Collie, but nice job by Max Hall using his eyes to hold that safety right in the middle of the field.
Brigham Young has hit for 2 36-yard plays in the last 3 snaps.
Right after we talked about no 20-plus plays
exactly
for the Arizona defense.
Una There's some power running down to about the 1 1/4 yard line.
We talked about over the course of time what this running game and a big offensive line and big backs can do. This is an offensive line that averages 6'6", 326 pounds against a much smaller Arizona defensive front. And then you've got a pair of backs that both are 240 plus.
Una to the outside this time and walks in. Touchdown. His 11th rushing touchdown of the year. Maybe that's why they run him outside so much.
Yeah.
So he can find those cutback lanes.
Nice job by that offensive front. Getting out in front, R.J. Willie, number 64, pulling out in front of that play.
Sorensen. Excuse me, Payne, the point after. And it's 10-7 with 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. BYU finally on the board. We expected a relatively high-powered offensive show tonight. So far, we're not getting it, but we're getting a real good ball game. It's 10-7 as BYU finally gets on the board and closes the lead to 3 points. Una capped it off after a couple of big plays set them up inside the 5-yard line.
You know, it's interesting, after the call that was reversed that we thought should have been a catch,
yeah,
it just kind of lit a fire under BYU, and Max Hall with a couple of big throws, one to Reed and one to Collie, and then the Una touchdown.
Thomas deep to return the kickoff from the goal line. Drilled short of the 20-yard line. They come out firing. Dean with another catch across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Of course, you want cold and snow, just come to Vegas. The largest snowstorm in Las Vegas history. It was snowing sideways. The further south you went, the deeper it got. They were making huge snowmen. School was closed. And then they even sold some cheeseheads to these people. I don't understand the connection, but maybe it's the only thing that can keep you warm on what is a pretty chilly Vegas night right now. Looking for the bomb. And off the shoulder pads of Terrell Hunter.
Well, I think Brandon Howard got a hand in it. That was a beautiful throw. It was a double post. And Tuitama actually had either guy he could have thrown to. It was max protection, only 2 guys going out. But let's see if Howard gets his hand in there. No, that's just a drop. And that was a beautiful throw.
Didn't catch it with his hands.
Nope.
Let the ball get into his body. Boy, you're right. That was a terrific throw. And BYU secondary is certainly having its problems so far with Arizona. Tuitama overthrows the tight end Gronkowski. They still haven't been able to hook up with the All-American. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, we've seen just a lot of bobbling with the football tonight. We've seen Arizona really struggling to hang on to it. So I actually went over and asked some of the equipment guys for the Wildcats, are these new? Have you changed? They said no, these are the same footballs that we've been playing with all year. It just seems to be one of those nights.
Well, like I said earlier, Holly, when it gets colder, the ball gets a little slicker. And Arizona obviously not nearly as used to cold weather, practice or playing, as BYU would be.
3-man rush, good protection again out in the flat to Antolin. Antolin trying to stay in bounds, got up near the 40-yard line, had to get just across the 40 for a first down, and he didn't make it. Antolin makes a pretty good 1-2 punch with Grigsby. Don't think we have seen Grigsby since he dropped that toss.
Well, Antolin is certainly a capable backup. The young man played on this field in the state championship game last year at this time for Bishop Gorman High School here in Las Vegas.
Cryer to punt to White. Pryor among the nation's leaders in kicking average, and White coughs it up. And it looked like BYU got it back. Holy cow. Scott Johnson with the recovery. The young man who had been hurt picks up a big one. And here's the view from our Pyro. I'll get it right in a second. Our Pioneer Kuro Sky Cam.
Well, R.J. Willing is in here at guard. Watch him come over here and get a great kick-out block to lead this play into the end zone. Una is going to follow the kick out. As soon as he sees that kick-out block, he cuts it right back to the inside. And pretty neat look from the Sky Cam on that touchdown run from BYU the last time they had the football.
You think a fumble might decide this game somewhere?
It might. It sure could.
For BYU, Hall dumps it off underneath to Korea. Pick up about 7. Korea seeing a lot of action tonight coming in. He'd only run the ball 9 times and made 3 catches all year long.
Well, again, I think BYU is trying to find other ways to get the ball to people in the absence of Dennis Pitta being out there every play and being a go-to receiver. Now, Pitta's in the game right now, number 32, but he's been kind of a non-factor. Here he is right here in the slot.
2nd and 2. Hall with good protection this time, flicks it down the middle, complete to Michael Reed.
Even though Dennis Pitta is not a big-time threat in the game, he still draws attention. It was the underneath coverage went to Pitta, and that opened things up behind him for Michael Reed on that play. And watch, Pitta's going to come into the middle and occupy coverage. He takes up space. The safety jumps on Pitta, and then right behind it, here comes Michael Reed. So even though Pitta's not 100%, he's still drawing the attention of the Arizona defense.
And Pitta was the unanimous choice as the starting tight end on the conference all-star team. A unanimous choice. That doesn't happen very often. Hall, under a little bit of pressure, throws underneath. That will be complete to Reed at the 18-yard line. So they've covered up Collie pretty well. Pitta is injured, so Reed's having a pretty big night.
I think what you're seeing also is with Max Hall that he's gaining confidence. As this first half has moved on, he has gotten into a better rhythm, and Tuitama has not been in the same rhythm that he started the game with.
Hall straight back. Guns it, and Reed had it at the 1 and dropped it.
Boy, that was a beautiful throw.
Oh.
I formation suggests run. They went for a pass on 2nd and short, and they would have had an easy touchdown. I mean, it really was a play where Arizona's defense was thinking run. You line up in the eye and show run off the play action. It's a timing throw, and you just can't put it any better than Max Hall did on that one.
Trying to get Reed off the field as they had too many men on the playing surface.
That's huge. Illegal substitution. Offense had 12 in formation. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
You go from 3rd and less than 1 in the red zone to now 3rd and 6. I mean, it's that's a costly penalty.
That last play, you know, when coaches are setting up their game plan and they say, all right, this play, when we get in this situation, this play is the one we're going to score on right here. And that was it, and they dropped it. That's got to be so heartbreaking to set it up the whole time you have practice time, get to the game, run the play, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, and it's only going to work once.
That's
You're not going to get it a second time.
Third and 6 showing
They didn't get
blitz.
the play off.
No, now it's going to be 3rd and 11.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, that is...
Offense, number 15.
That's not good.
Still 3rd down.
No, and that's after another penalty.
Yeah, that's not good for BYU. I mean, they've got momentum. They've got this Arizona defense back on their heels a little bit, and now they've just helped them out 2 plays in a row.
Korea split to the left, Una to the right of Max Hall in the shotgun. Now they're going to tighten up the splits on that line. You see the offensive linemen moving closer together. And somebody moved up front, and the Arizona players pointing at BYU.
Number 65, 5 yards, for third down.
All right, it was 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
Then 3rd and 6 on an illegal substitution. And we had another penalty to make it 3rd and 11. Now another 5-yarder. It's 3rd and 16. Not only are you making 3rd down that much more difficult to achieve, but you're looking at a major field goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
From here, it would be about 51 yards on the field goal try. All because of penalties. Una on the draw. Room to run. The big guy to the 22. Finally gang tackled and driven out of bounds. That will at least make for a more manageable field goal try.
That was a good run by Una. Gets him back into a reasonable place to kick the field goal. And a chance to tie the football game here with a little over 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Payne, who is 10 out of 12, will try from 39 yards. Hooked it. Wide. Only the 3rd miss of the entire season for Payne. That will end the first half. A half that Arizona dominated before Brigham Young came back to get on the board and cut the lead to 3 before missing a field goal that would have tied it. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Coach, you had some momentum going there in the second quarter, but what just happened? You imploded on that series and then the penalty there.
Oh, I think our team didn't play with the right composure, didn't show the maturity necessary, went from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 11. Took us basically where I think we could have had a touchdown and got a field goal instead. One broken coverage on defense, I think, is the difference in the game right now.
You did gain that momentum, though. How did you do that?
I didn't hear the question.
You gained some momentum, though, and got the score. How were you able to do that?
That's just precision and the execution part of it. Rather than pressing, rather than trying to play outside of the system, just doing methodically what our players know how to do.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Our halftime score, Arizona 10-7. Let's join Chris, Kirk, and Doug for the Flomax halftime report. Welcome back to the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Week. We're at Sam Boyd Stadium outside of Las Vegas, where Arizona has a 3-point halftime lead over 16th-ranked Brigham Young. It was a great start for Arizona. It looked for all the world like they had complete control of this ball game, but Brigham Young came back near the end of the second quarter, and they've got within 3. Actually had a chance to tie it and missed a field goal.
Missed a field goal, had a couple penalties that moved them back and made it a little more difficult. Arizona had a chance to really extend their lead with a good drive into the red zone, and they fumbled. The Grigsby fumble, but I thought what happened early in the game, it was clear to me Arizona, the team with the shorter layoff, had more rhythm. They looked more in sync, but as the game wore on, Brigham Young started to get their rhythm. Max Hall finished 12 of 15 in the first half, throwing the ball well. Right now, I think it's a level playing field. I think both teams have got their game legs in, and as you take a look at the first half stats, each team with a turnover. Brigham Young with 7 penalties compared to 4 for Arizona. I think the way the ball has been kind of loose for both teams, a turnover in the second half, one way or the other, is going to have a big thing to do in this game.
Well, you said level playing field, 205 yards apiece.
Yeah.
About as level as it gets. Arizona will get the ball to start the second half, and Thomas got a block, needs to beat the kicker, and pushed out of bounds. Justin Sorensen with what could have been a saving tackle, but there is a flag down near the 40-yard line. Sorensen played it beautifully, used the sideline as his buddy, and forced him out of bounds.
2 fouls during the return. Blocking the back, number 58, return team. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 8 during the return. That penalty is accepted, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, looked like a good return for Thomas, but 2 fouls on Arizona. 1 declined, 1 accepted. The hold is the one that they took on.
Let me do it.
Go ahead, please.
Vunatui Halamaka.
Okay. On that guy right there.
That's right.
You did that very well, Bob.
Thank you so much. So Arizona backed up just inside its 30. Low snap. Still loose. Brigham Young has it.
There's the turnover again. The football has been on the ground a lot.
Colby Clausen with the recovery. It's not that cold.
No, this is just a bad snap. Colin Baxter, it's low and to the left, and then it gets kicked. Before Tuitama can pick it up, Grigsby kicked the football, but it started with a low snap, low and to the left, and the first play to start the third quarter, a turnover, and Brigham Young in great field position.
The Cougars start inside the 30. Una straight ahead. Holly, what are you getting on ball security down there?
Well, guys, I actually spoke with Arizona coach Mike Stoops at the half about the ball security, and he said, you know, it is cold. The ball is a little bit slicker than we're used to, just like Todd said. But he said, you know, there's nothing we can do about it. We talked about being secure at the ball, being technically correct, really paying attention to it. But here on the first play, another problem. Guys, one other quick note. I asked him about that little incident with Mike Thomas in the first half where Thomas was very vocal, kind of pushed him. He said, hey, he's letting the ball hit the ground too much on punts, but he's fine.
All right, Holly, thanks very much. Hall changing the play. Split the backs around him in the shotgun. And Arizona's defense looks a little fresher right now coming out of the locker room after that break. McCorvey led the charge on defense that time, number 25, along with Nate Ness, 32, up from his safety spot. Ness, the number 2 tackler on this ball club for the year.
Number 2 defense in the Pac-10 this year behind USC. Of course, we saw the Trojan defense the last 2 weeks of the regular season. They were outstanding.
3rd and 3, and number 20 in the country, even though only one player was honored with second-team All-Pac-10 status. They have played defense as a team. Hall under some pressure. Steps up, throws underneath. Collie. 10. Out of bounds at the 8. Boy, he's good on those crossing routes.
Yep. Well, he's got the speed, and that was kind of a mismatch because Ronnie Palmer, I think, was the guy trying to cover him, the linebacker. Picked him up on the short crossing route, and then he was able to just kind of get separation from the linebacker. Nice job by Max Hall finding the mismatch and getting the football to Austin Collie.
And you need some more time to throw those, don't you?
Yep. He stepped up in the pocket a little bit, bought some extra time.
Hall, quarterback draw. 5.
We talked early in the game about the splits. You don't see this with a lot of teams, but BYU just gets in huge splits. And what I mean by that is the distance between the offensive linemen. Look at this distance.
Jeez.
And what that does is it opens up passing lanes for Max Hall, and it also spreads out the defense and opens up running lanes. On this draw play, that was a big hole for Max Hall to get to. You take advantage of going against this fast defense by spreading them out and making them have to cover longer distances to get to the football.
Una is the deep man in the eye. Hall, play action fake, throws for the back of the end zone, the tight end, Andrew George wide open for the touchdown. Well, if you're on defense, you have to sell out to stop the team from a foot away.
Well, and the key was it was 3rd down, because 3rd down, if you're BYU, you're thinking we can take a shot at this and still come back and run it on 4th down if we want to go for it. And so it was a perfect setup for that play.
Now the point after to give Brigham Young a 4-point lead, and it's good. 14-10 coming up. Todd will tell us, where do you go in Las Vegas to find breakfast any time of the day? Welcome back to Las Vegas. Sam Boyd Stadium on the outskirts of town. on a very, very chilly December night, and it's a 14-10 BYU lead over Arizona. Brigham Young has scored 14 unanswered.
Well, a couple of costly turnovers by Arizona helping the BYU cause.
Antolin from the 8. Wanted to take it outside, brought down at the 27. Now it's time for Todd's Taste of the Town, brought to you by Chase.
For a guy from Canton, Ohio, Las Vegas can be kind of an overwhelming place with its palatial hotels and casinos and 5-star restaurants on every corner. But near the end of the strip, I found a place called the Pepper Mill that made me feel right at home. It's been here for 37 years, it's open 24 hours a day, and it's known for one of my favorite things, awesome omelets.
Was that really food? Besides that?
Yeah.
I can't wait. Thomas gets a carry. Excuse me, that was his catch. That was officially his 3rd, and that will tie the Pac-10 record career. The next one, he is the #1 all-time pass receiver in Pac-10 history. What an achievement. Grigsby is also back in at tailback, and he'll get the carry, and he is swallowed up. Let's go back to see what was really on that plate.
There are 11 different omelets to choose from. Now, I went with one of the house favorites, the Pepper Mill omelet. It's stuffed with a unique combination of turkey breast, jack and cheddar cheese, sliced tomatoes, and then topped with a homemade hollandaise sauce. It comes with hash browns and, just for good measure, a small side of pancakes. Excellent. I cracked myself up. Excellent. Wow.
Oh, jeez. I've got luggage that's smaller than that pancake. That thing's enormous.
Yeah, the pancakes, you know, that order doesn't really come with pancakes, but the manager
You got
wanted me
one
to get
anyway.
some. Yeah, there was 3 of them there, and you know I can eat.
Oh.
I could not eat all 3 of those pancakes. I did it the best I could. The omelet covered, no problem. Hash browns good. The pancakes, I got about halfway through, and I was done. I was checked out.
You can check out all of Todd's Taste of the Town just by logging on to ESPN.com and search Taste of the Town. Tuitama pump fakes, goes for it all, has a man wide open, touchdown. Thomas.
Same play they got him on before. It was the hesitation.
Excuse me, it was Dean. There's that number again, 18 and 10.
Same kind of breakdown in the BYU coverage that we saw in the first quarter. The outside receiver has a hesitation. It causes the coverage to jump on the inside receiver, and then a late burst right through the middle of the defense.
Boy, was he wide open. And this is a young man that only scored 3 touchdowns all year long. He has been huge in this one. Well, we thought we'd have a lot of offense. We're getting it here in the second half, and Arizona's regained the lead.
Watch out, Todd. Now watch the hesitation by Dean. Little stutter step. Scott Johnson in coverage. The safety, Fowler coming over out of position. They got totally fooled by that little hesitation and the pump fake by Tuitama, and a wide open, easy touchdown for Arizona. 2 times we've seen the same kind of play, a hesitation by the receiver, a pump fake by the quarterback, and total disarray in the BYU secondary.
And Fowler just got lost.
Oh, he went for the pump fake.
Yeah. Very good kicking. Chambers will bring it out from 2 yards deep. Runs into Collie. Keeps his feet across the 25, taken out of bounds to the 28. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, you're talking about Arizona doing a good job overcoming adversity on that last series. It's something that they've really prided themselves on doing well all season long. I talked with their quarterback, Willie Tuitama, before the game, and he said, you know, there was a point in this season we were down big at halftime at Cal. Coach Stoops came in the locker room and just got after us. We came back, fought in that game, and we learned something about ourselves, that if we just try a little harder, if we just pay attention to the details a little bit better and have the confidence, we can overcome anything. And he said, you know, that's kind of been our modus all modus operandi all year. They did against Arizona State to get to a bowl game as well.
Well, it's certainly been a good night for them in that department so far, Holly. And the report from the sideline, Vakopuna, the big fullback, is out with a shoulder injury. So they've got Pritchard in there, and they've used Correa as well as the second back in the backfield. And that's a big loss. I mean, that guy's 255 pounds, and he brings it. Second and 4. Hall gets that one out to Reed, and Reed ends it up for a first down. Another first down for BYU. Hall stands in against a 4-man rush, gets it to Una. He's down to the 43-yard line. Interesting throwing motion a lot of time by Hall. Looks like he's throwing darts.
Yeah. Well, he keeps the ball high. I mean, he keeps it right up by his ear to start the throwing motion, and then just kind of shoots it right from there, especially on those underneath throws like that.
Here comes the blitz. Hall unloads in a hurry, and it's Pitta again. And back to your point about the cushion they're giving receivers, why give Pitta the cushion? He's the tight end, and he's got a bad leg.
Well, on that one, second and long, you'll give up a short one if you can make a sure tackle, which they did. They still have 3rd and 12 now. But it's on the earlier downs when I think the cushion has been a little bit of a problem for them.
They need
to come up on Collie. They're cutting that cushion down a little bit right here. Oh, they're backing off again. But see with the first down line, they want to keep everything in front.
They need a pretty good game just to get first down territory, and that one's too high for Michael Reed running a post. So you can punt or go for it on 4th down from this situation.
I think you try to punt them down and see if you can get another one down inside the 15, or try a field goal here.
Whoa. This will be a 53-yard attempt, and it's Justin Sorensen, the long-range kicker. His long this year is 31. He has only hit 1 for 2. Gave it a pretty good effort, but missed it wide right. The thing this does is really change field position.
Yeah.
Arizona will start from its own 35, and that's a boost. Fake to Grigsby. Tuitama comes out throwing and immediately hits his fullback, Chris Gronkowski.
Yeah. Nice little play. That's one where they sat on and they said, you know what, we haven't shown this. We're in the I formation. Let's fake play action and get the fullback the football. BYU did not account for him. They hadn't shown that play yet tonight. And a nice first down pass off the play action for Tuitama.
Gronkowski had only caught 6 balls all year, but averaged over 25 yards a catch. So when they've used him, he has been very, very effective. Tuitama sets up short. Again with a completion, this time to Turner, and Turner down to the 30. Well, at the beginning of the ball game, the one thing we brought up was the motivation.
I think the motivation is strong for both teams. I think Arizona, obviously the fact that they have not been to a bowl for 10 years is huge motivation and a huge step for the program. But both teams highly motivated tonight.
1st and 10. Grigsby is the tailback. They shift the strength of the formation to the right side. Thomas goes that way, and Grigsby straight ahead. Another fascinating thing about Brigham Young, they set the priorities for this team. Guess what's 5th? Football. 5th. How many other schools can you say make a priority list of faith, family, knowledge, friends, and football?
Yeah. Well, probably not. I mean, the only other schools to me that are similar, and you would have to take faith probably not as that priority, but the academies, the military academies have a similar kind of approach to the game of football as an outlet and what they use it for and how important it is in everything else. But it's an impressive thing that they have here at BYU.
Tuitama tried to get it to Thomas, who had it, and then trying to, as he juggled it, trying to catch it, actually flipped it over his shoulder and was almost intercepted. And there is something really quite quaint, old school, and very charming about Brigham Young's approach to football. It's unlike any other place. It really is.
But make no mistake, winning football is very important to them. And important to their fan base, and important to supporters of that university. It's not just play football, it's play football well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've done that over the years. I mean, just look at Lavelle Edwards' career, how brilliant that string was. Tuitama, nice fake.
Same play they had earlier in the year.
Touchdown. You're exactly right.
High formation, fake to the tailback, throw it to the fullback.
Nice touch by Tuitama. Well, that 5-minute official's decision to overturn the fumble recovery really stoked some fires in this team. They are psyched right now.
The first play of this drive and the last play of this drive were exactly the same. And Gronkowski, the older one, with 2 huge catches.
And here's a look from our Pioneer Kuro Skycam.
Well, here's Gronkowski. He's going to run right down through the middle of the defense. They're going to fake to Grigsby and watch the linebackers get frozen on the ball fake, and nobody picks up the fullback. He runs right between the 2 linebackers. The safeties are going with the wide receivers, and Chris Gronkowski with 2 huge catches on this drive, the second one a touchdown.
If you're a linebacker and you see him play after play after play after play, block and not go anywhere, that's what you do. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, the Gronkowski brothers are having a busy holiday season, not just on that drive alone. Chris and Ron are playing in this game for Arizona, but their other brother, Dan, plays for Maryland. He'll be playing in the Humanitarian Bowl up in Boise. The parents are here. All the family, even these 2 brothers who are playing for Arizona tonight, planning on going up to the Humanitarian Bowl, so they're keeping it a family affair. The Gronkowski brothers busy this holiday season.
Very athletic, talented family. And Chris, who does a lot of the dirty work as a blocker while his brother gets the publicity of making all that catches, gets to star on his own a little bit. Collie, big time return man across the 30 to the 35-yard line. So BYU down by 10 after they had scored 14 points in a row, find themselves in a big hole, and they're going to have to start over again. Mitchell will make the tackle on that run. And Uno has really not been able to break loose tonight for anything really significant outside of 1 run. That'll be the final play of the 3rd quarter. 15 minutes to go in the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl. Lavelle Edwards here watching his team perform. Had an unbelievable run of 29 years, 22 bowl games, including the 1984 National Championship for the Cougars of Brigham Young. One of the great coaches of all time, won 257 games. No place to go for Una. And that defense re-energized, Todd.
Absolutely. Again, it's a defense that's built for speed, and if they can get that big back turning and running sideways, well, then that plays right into their hands. It's when he gets that going north and south and lowers the shoulder that it could be a problem for this Arizona defense, because they're not particularly big, but they are fast, and they can run sideline to sideline with anybody.
Xavier Kelly made that last tackle along with Ronnie Palmer. The linebacker's very active. 3rd and 5. Hall. Under pressure, down he goes. The ball's loose, and Arizona's got this one. Recovered by Donald Horton after Kelly knocked it loose. No dispute about that one.
Take a look now. Watch it here. The blitz comes. Kelly comes The second guy that comes in there, Kelly, you can see Hall was trying to load up to throw, but before he got that arm up, Kelly was able to hit him and knock the ball loose, and another turnover for BYU.
Grigsby showing a little power, and Grigsby off to the races. 20. Pushed out of bounds at the 15.
Late hit at the end of it, too.
Grigsby ran over Bowman. 27 yards, and Bowman, who had been spectacular all night, maybe caught off balance that time, and he got drilled.
And they ran to the left side behind their big left tackle, Evan Britton, the junior, 6'6", 310-pounder out of Burbank, California.
Half the distance to the goal. First down.
A late hit.
Pops through there, Britton downfield blocking, and then a couple missed tackles, and you see the late hit at the end by Nixon.
So Market at the 9, first and goal. Arizona, they're up by 10. A touchdown makes this a 3-score game, so it's up to BYU's defense to at least hold it to a field goal try. Grigsby again. Did pretty well to get anything out of that one. Picked up a couple. And right now, every play and the play clock in between can eat up 45 seconds. That's a lot of time to burn.
Hey, you talk about motivation when we talked about BYU. One of the other things that we hadn't really touched on is, I think they wanted to have a chance to prove that they were a quality football team, because clearly the two best teams they played this year, they lost to.
Yeah.
TCU and also to Utah. And this, another good team that they're playing in Arizona, a chance to prove that they weren't just beating up on teams they should beat up on.
Tuitama running for it. Touchdown. Willie Tuitama, only his second rushing touchdown of the entire year, but he saw an opening and he took it.
Yeah, this was not a designed run. He got flushed out of the pocket, and all he saw was a green grass open path to the end zone. Watch as he steps up in the pocket. He had no intention of running until he saw all this green and everybody running with his receivers. Nobody accounted for the quarterback, and Tuitama did the right thing.
The point after sneaks inside the upright, an 82-yard drive that ate nearly 4 minutes off the clock, and more importantly, it makes it a 3-score game and leaves Brigham Young only 6:09 on the clock to get those 3 scores. And if you don't think this is important to Arizona,
oh boy,
I mean, this would be 8-5. That's a lot better than 7-6, isn't it?
It sure is. 8 wins. 8 wins sounds really good.
Collie, they could really use a big return, and they're not going to get it. And Collie is just smashed by Joe Perkins, a backup safety who drilled him. And Arizona's got to look at tonight as a historic moment, because it is their first bowl game in a decade. And it's almost hard to understand. The program was down so much. He came in and took over. This is his 5th year. There were a lot of guys that didn't want to buy into what he was trying to do. Right. Well, if you're losing all the time, you'd think you'd buy into just about anything. But he had to face that, and he had to face it until really all those people were out of the program. Now he's got his own guys in there, and the fruits are starting to, the tree is starting to bear fruit, and he's done very, very well. Here's Pitta inside the 30. Nice throw from Hall. I mean, this helps everything. It helps your fan base. It helps the booster clubs. It helps recruiting. Right. Winning is a great salve for everything.
At the 28-yard line.
BYU trying to get the first of 3 needed scores right here and do it in a hurry. Ball, and that That one is shaken loose. It's incomplete. Intended for Una.
Pass is ruled incomplete.
Ronnie Palmer
For Harvey Unruh.
drilled him as he made the catch. Boy, and guys in this situation really take the opportunity to tee off, too. You don't want linebackers salivating as the ball's in the air. And if this score stands, it is going to deny Brigham Young a third straight 11-win season. Hall with the out read. Nice catch. George came back and threw him a beautiful block. Reed still on his feet to the 15-yard line. Andrew George, the tight end, peeled back and threw a heck of a block to get Reed some more running room. For Reed, 8 catches, 106 yards. A couple of receivers have had huge nights.
Well, he's filled in pretty nicely for Pitta. I mean, Pitta has played probably more plays than they thought they might get out of him, but has not been himself, not been 100%. George has stepped in.
Ball for the end zone, almost intercepted. That was intended for Reed, but Trevin Wade had his hands on it. A young man who already has 4 picks as a backup corner this year.
Again, Wade is in the game because of the injury to Hundley and does a nice job of getting in great position to make what would have been his 5th interception of the year.
Boy, he really took the inside away. 3:52 left in the game. It is desperation time for the Cougars. Collie flanked to the top of your screen. Hall looks the other way. George, the tight end, kept his footing down to about the 1-foot line. Nice catch and a heck of an effort. Now they're going to line up in a hurry. That means Arizona cannot substitute again. Hall, the quarterback, dives. No signal yet. And now, touchdown. So that's one of the 3 they need. The point after would cut it to 10. With 3 minutes and 38 seconds left. I mean, both teams have acquitted themselves pretty well tonight. Payne knocks it through. Lavelle Edwards, who took this club to so many championships on hand tonight. Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium outside of Las Vegas for the Pioneer Las Vegas Bowl, where Arizona is leading 16th ranked BYU by 10. If you're BYU, do you go for the onside kick here, or do you do that later after you try to hold it?
Well, I'll tell you what, you've had a little bit of trouble stopping Arizona's offense. I'm not so sure with 3 timeouts. I would probably kick this one and see if your defense can get a stop. You give them the football around the 50-yard line. You haven't stopped them very well all night.
Ball's loose. What else is new? And they got it.
Of course it's loose.
Brigham Young with the onside kick. Terrell Turner had it right in his hands and couldn't hold it. How many times have we seen the ball come loose tonight?
Well, Arizona expecting onside kick. They had their hands team on the field. One of their best receivers can't field the football. Nice kick, got the high bounce.
Collie nearly had it. And then O'Neal Chambers and Bronco Mendenhall. When you recover the onside kick in a situation like that, you're one happy head coach. You know what? Considering the way people have held on to the ball, I might onside kick every time I had a chance.
Blitz.
Nice block by Una to free him up. Complete pass to Collie to the 35-yard line. Now they'll run the hurry up. The clock will only stop to reset the sticks. 10 catches, 106 yards for Austin Collie. His 11th straight 100-yard game. And now he is over 1,500 yards for the season and has 105 catches. What a year. Too high at the 11-yard line. And very slow to get up his read. It looked like he came down flat on his back. There are the numbers on Collie.
And again, for an offense like this BYU offense, I mean, this is a lot of time. 3 minutes and 7 seconds, all 3 of your timeouts. A quarterback with experience like Max Hall that knows how to run a hurry-up offense. They need 2 scores, so they don't have to get a touchdown on this drive.
Another blitz. They block it well. Collie will get out of bounds. And he's got the first down at the 22. So right now, BYU executing beautifully. The book on Hall was with pressure in his face. He doesn't throw it that well. Pressure in his face that time, and he threw it beautifully.
It was pressure, but he still was able to throw on time. Watch, he hits that last step. He hops up, and he's still able to throw on time, even though there was pressure.
Can't find somebody now can't find anybody and goes underneath to Pitta and threw it behind him.
Arizona subbing 2 of their inside defensive tackles, trying to get some fresh legs, trying to put a little pressure on Max Hall. Just a reminder, one of the starting corners, Henley, Marquise Henley, out of the ballgame with that injury after his interception for Arizona.
Another blitz. He's drilled as he throws. Still complete the read.
Well, Max Hall got hit on that one.
Boy, didn't he ever.
He's up, but he's favoring his shoulder a little bit.
And one of his linemen is down well, but what a shot he takes here.
He landed hard on the turf on his right throwing shoulder.
Hit 10 times. That last one was the biggest shot he took all night.
And right now, Max Hall has got to be thinking, okay, it's 3rd and 9. Let's go for this here. But if we don't get it, it's not the end. We can kick a field goal and do another onside kick. We still need to score twice.
Una's the man in motion. Another blitz. Arizona keeping the pressure on. This one is too high for Reed. Good defense by Devin Ross, who is probably their most talented cover guy back there, and Hall took another shot. So here comes the field goal team.
Nice time blitz by Xavier Kelly that time. Got into the face of Max Hall.
This will be from 37 yards. He's missed from 39 and 53. This one is mandatory. They're going to have to use their timeouts on defense. And it hit the upright.
Boy.
Oh, man. Mitch Payne, who had missed only 2 all year, misses again tonight. That one hit the upright. What a heartbreaker. Good snap, good hold. Just hooked it again. Doink right in the middle. And the Wildcats of Arizona know they dodged one there. And now they will make Brigham Young use its timeout on defense. And they'll try to force a punt here. but time is a huge enemy. Thomas in motion. Great speed to the outside. By the way, Thomas is still tied for that Pac-10 all-time record. Tied.
Unbelievable.
He only needed 4 catches coming in to break that all-time record. He's not going to get it.
Some of the Arizona coaches here on the sideline just came over to me and said, hey, can you talk to an official statistician? I said, sure. What do you guys need? And they wanted to know how many catches Mike Thomas had so far tonight. I saw him then go over and walk to one of the coaches with the headphones on. They're very conscientious of him breaking this record. You know, he's put in so much for this program. He's played almost every game he's ever suited up for here at Arizona, and they really want to see him go out with that.
Well, they got to do it here because they might not get this first down. And they're going to run it instead. Grigsby. And Grigsby will have a first down. Now, let me get back and ask you about that. You've got a guy who's been one of your great players.
Yeah.
He's tied for one of the marks that any wide receiver would want to have.
Yep.
But you're in this situation in a bowl game that you want to win. Do you take the chance to throw him the ball?
Now you can maybe take a chance. Now that you got that first down, it was critical that you get a first down. And now they might just try a little quick thing to just get him a catch, and it's not an insult to BYU. I'm sure BYU is aware of the fact that he could become the all-time leading receiver. Now may be the time they do it, or they're not going to.
But this is the victory formation. When Arizona earned it, they played marvelously tonight and responded to BYU's challenge. And Tuitama, our Capital One player of the game, 23 of 34, over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, which gives him 24 for the season. He only had 8 interceptions this year. That is the fewest since 1998. Which is interesting because that was the last time they went to a bowl game. 857 total yards in offense. Well, we said we were going to have a pretty good offense.
They're going to go and they're going to run this play, and I think they're going to call something to throw the ball to Mike.
Throw him a little safe screen, something like that.
Yeah, a little bubble screen. He's right out here in the slot, and they'll just try to raise up and throw him the football.
This will be for the Pac-10 all-time record, and that's it. That's a good decision.
I think so,
give the kid a chance to break the record. 259 catches, and they will not run another play. That's a pretty good way to end it, isn't it? And the Arizona fans swarm the field. They have not had this opportunity in a long, long time. These college kids, the last time they could run on the field for an Arizona Bowl victory, oh, they were little guys.
College students.
All right, let's go to Holly Rowe.
Coach, you said it wasn't enough to get to a bowl game after 10-year absence. What is it like to win the bowl game?
That meant everything to us. We played well all year. This team has stuck together. Our perseverance and toughness over the past 5 years has showed tonight. I couldn't be more proud of our players, our program, and it was a great team win.
Your quarterback stuck with you when he could have left, could have quit after all the criticism. How do you describe how Willie Tuitama went out tonight?
Well, he's been through so much in his career, but he stuck in there, he hung in there, just like all our guys. And I thought he had a great game tonight. We needed him to play well, and he did.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Coach Stoops and the Arizona program. They go bowling for the first time in 10 years, and they win it over BYU 31-21. For Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Las Vegas.